What is the key to being like a way-seeking Jedi of the Old Republic? Qui-Gon, I think we can all agree, fellow nerdlings, that Qui-Gon Jinn is the closest thing we have to a way-seeking Jedi of the Old Republic. He cared more about the will of the Force than about the politics of the, what's it called? The Jedi Council or his own career. So let us do a quick study or review a quick contrast between Darth Sidious and Qui-Gon Jinn. Darth Sidious was all about making things happen, bending the universe to his will. Darth Sidious was a poster boy for the Yang attributes described in the Tao Te Ching. He was rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. Whereas Qui-Gon Jinn was the opposite. He was flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. The poster boy for the yin attributes. And the response to this is obvious. What can we do to forsake the path of yang, the path of the Sith? It begins with mindfulness. If you're as nerdy as me, in addition to you probably are pan-geek, you will. You probably like a bit of the old Star Wars, a bit of the old Star Trek, with a smattering of The Matrix. Who can forget the kitchen scene in the first Matrix movie, where the Oracle points out to Neo the Greek sign, not Greek, the Latin sign that can be translated as know thyself. Now, you can't know yourself through active concentration. You can't. It's like making love in the name of virginity. It's a lot of fun, but terribly unproductive. So let's take a closer look at this whole mindfulness business. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we access our sympathetic nervous system ensconced, fancy word, within the thoracic region of our spinal cord. That's corresponding to our rib cage. Every time we inhale, we access this, which supports our capacity not to concentrate, but to notice, to perceive, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. That's how we know ourselves. The outer self, the inner self, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, and the grotesque. We don't take a machete to the mangrove swamp of our subconscious. Au contraire. We sit pretty and we allow the inner workings of our sympathetic nervous system to show things to us. How then do we embrace the path of the way seeker? And how do we let go of the gurk that we are shown, our inner Darth Sidious? Why, meditation, of course. You didn't think I was going to say macrame. Meditation. You see, every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we access our parasympathetic nervous system, hidden within both the lower lumbar region of our spinal cord as well as the tippy top of the cervical region. It is wired to support both our physical relaxation as well as our mental release. This is how we let go of our inner Darth Sidious. This is how we embrace our inner way-seeking Jedi. A good-hearted student recently asked, hello, Lama, I have a question. In Yongjia Zhuangjui's Song of Enlightenment, the term the three poisons is mentioned. Are the three hating, craving, and clinging? Yes. Yes, they are. Good job, James. I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after about 40 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent more than 8 hours a day, every day, studying, practicing, and reverse engineering all the teachings and techniques of each school of Buddhism so that you would not have to. I play the Yoda to your Luke Skywalker so that you can quickly and easily become the person that your dog already thinks you are. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Oh, I think I hit the wrong button. Let's hit button 8, kids. Okay, we're going to play with a classic text written in the 1700s by a fellow named Jigme Lingpa, who claims to have pulled it out of the ethers. So let's recite this bit right here 7 times. O Lama, care for me, O Lama, care for me, O Lama, care for me, O Lama, care for me. O Lama, care for me, O Lama, care for me, O Lama, care for me. From the blossoming lotus of devotion at the center of my heart, rise up, O compassionate Lama, my only refuge. I am plagued by past actions and turbulent emotions. To protect me in my misfortune, remain as the jewel ornament on the crown of my head, the chakra of great bliss. Arousing all my mindfulness and awareness, I pray. And now, quick like a bunny, I'm going to tap button 9 and invite you to meditate with me as transformatively as as Luke on Dagobah. As children, most likely a primary caregiver bolted training wheels to our bicycle. They were clunky, but they got the job done. Well, you know what's also clunky? This 12-syllable exercise, but it's an excellent start. As we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite, perceiving this very turbulent play of mind, and as we exhale, let's silently and mentally recite, relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. Let's do this, 8 to 12 times. We are going to return our attention to the Gondro. The 4 thoughts that turn the mind from samsara, a brief version. This is actually a middling version. We're going to explore this in 4 bits or 4 chunks. Here we go. This free and well-favored human form is difficult to obtain. Now that you have the chance to realize a few human potential, if you do not make good use of this opportunity, how could you possibly expect to have this chance again? Okay, this is a good place to stop, I think. It's been a while since I played with this sadhana. Let's hit this button and tap button 9. Excellent. Okay, so continuing with the metaphor of the training wheels, let's remove the first training wheel, transitioning from the clunky 12-syllable exercise to the 3-syllable exercise. As we inhale, we could silently and mentally recite, notice this. As we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite, relaxing. There are times when it feels like our brain is beating us up. At those times, playing with labels can help, not with the intention of repressing our experience, but the process of harnessing the raw, kinetic, crackling energy of our present moment experience. And so sometimes we can play with perceptions of sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, sense, and the like. Other times, we just deal with what's going on the inside. You know, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Our job is not to indulge our perfectionistic tendencies. Our job is not to try to find the perfect label for the perfect moment as quickly as possible. That will only compound our stress. Our job is to have fun and play with the present moment. When it's mellow, notice this relaxing. When it's turbulent, one of these 10 labels. Give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Well, that's weird. Okay, that's better. Together. This existence of ours is as transient as autumn clouds who watch the birth and death of beings is like looking at the movement of a dance. A lifetime is like a flash of lightning in the sky rushing by like a torrent down a steep mountain. Just wondering if... Okay, let's just continue. When his time is come, even a king has to die, and neither his friends nor his wealth can follow him. So for us, wherever we stay, wherever we go, karma follows us like a shadow. Now let us remove the second of 2 metaphoric training wheels. We switch over from the 3-syllable paradigm to the 1-syllable paradigm. As we breathe in, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. As we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a a synonym of relax. Now, it should not come as a great surprise that when we transition our 10 labels from the 3-syllable paradigm to the 1-syllable paradigm, we're going to have to take some poetic license. Physical sensation we'll refer to as form. Emotional sensation we refer to as feel. Memory we refer to we use the preposition then as our label of choice, and for imagination we use the verb dream. Let us continue. Because of cream. So there was James Scott's question and answer. Let's continue. If you've just joined, welcome aboard. We're having a lot of fun alternating between chanting and meditating. When you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your life, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. And what follows is a whole bunch of metaphors, so please don't get overwhelmed. Together. Because of craving, attachment, and ignorance, men's god, animals, hungry ghosts, and hell beings foolishly go around like the turning of a potter's wheel. Just gonna make sure I'm using the right text. I think I am. Is this composed by... Yep, okay, let's continue. We just recited Potter's Wheel. So let's do a little bit more meditating. Being born in hell-pit or animal realms amidst long-living gods and uncivilized lands or with wrong views. In a world where a Buddha has not come or incapable of understanding, now I am free from these 8 states where there is no chance for Dharma practice. Born a human being with all my faculties intact and in a central land. My lifestyle not have fallen wrong and with the faith in Buddha's teachings. All 5 personal advantages all complete, a Buddha has come. He taught the Dharma, it has survived, I have embraced it. And a true spiritual friend has accepted me. I have the 5 advantages due to circumstances. Although in a position where I have every one of them, once this life so fraught with uncertainty is relinquished, I will go on to yet another realm of existence. O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind toward the practice care for me. Omniscient Masters Longchenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto the wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who run with them, care for me. If I do not seize this present freedom, if I do not seize the opportunity this present freedom offers, I will not find such a basis for attaining liberation later on. Once the merit that provided this happy existence is spent, after death I will wander as a being in the lower realms. Not knowing good from bad, I will never hear the sound of Dharma, nor meet a spiritual friend, a terrible disaster. Only to think of the numbers and kinds of sentient beings is to realize just how slim is the chance of gaining a human body. And even among human beings, to see how their behavior is so harmful and contrary to Dharma, is to realize that those who really act according to Dharma are as rare as stars in broad daylight. O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind towards a practice care for me. Omniscient Masters Longchenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who are one with them, care for me. And this is a good place to stop. And remember, this has been metaphoric. Let's not get all spooked. And if you do feel spooked, that's an emotion that we refer to as feel. We can notice it as we breathe in, we can relax as we breathe out, and process it. Even though I have reached this jewel line in the human body, a fickle and impetuous mind in such a promising basis makes it no good as a foundation for attaining liberation, especially when misled by corrupting influences or with the 5 poisons raging inside. When negative karma overtakes me or I am distracted by laziness, like a slave under someone else's control, turning to Dharma simply out of insecurity or fear, or merely pretending to practice, or chronically senseless and stupid, these are the 8 incidental circumstances that make Dharma impossible. When they come upon me menacing my dharma practice, O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind towards the practice, care for me. Omniscient Masters Long Chenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto the wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who are one with them, care for me. With little renunciation and without the jewel of devotion, caught in the bonds of worldly ties and cravings, or with crude degenerate behavior, never holding back from negative harmful actions and without the slightest real interest, with household broken and some may are torn to shreds. These are the 8 impossible states where mind cuts us off from the Dharma. When they come upon me menacing my Dharma practice, O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind towards the practice, care for me. Omniscient Masters Long Chenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who are one with him, care for me. We turn our attention now to impermanence. At this moment I am not ravaged by sickness and pain, nor am I a slave for such under another's control. So now that I have this perfect auspicious quality of total independence, if I waste the freedom of this human life through my own indolence, no need to worry about companions, possessions, relatives, and loved ones. When this body I hold so dear is carried out alone from its bed to some desolate spot, to be torn to pieces by fox, vultures, and dogs, then in the border realm there will be nothing but terror in store. O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind towards the practice, care for me. Omniscient Masters Long Chenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto the wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who are one with them, care for me. We turn our attention now to cause and effect. The results of beneficial and hopeful actions will follow me. If I am born into the hell realms on a floor of burning iron, head and body, or hacked with weapons, ripped apart with swords and crushed with red-hot hammers, trapped in a doorless iron cell, screaming out loud, impaled on red-hot spikes or boiled in molten bronze, and burned in a fire of the intensest heat in the 8 hot hells. On the crests of snow mountains, on precipices of ice, terrifying places engulfed by squalls and blizzards of snow, my tender body lashed by freezing winds, breaks out in blisters which open into festering sores, in a sleeces wail of agonizing screams and in a suffering hard even to think about. Like a dying person whose strength is all gone, I let out the gasp in the grounds, my teeth clenched. My skin cracks open and the raw flesh exposed splits deeper, and yet again in the 8 cold hells. My feet are cut to ribbons in the plain of razor blades, in the forest of sword blades my body is gnashed and chopped. I sink into the swamp of putrefying corpses and the pit of hot embers, all in the neighboring hells that ring the hell of ultimate torment, and then the unchanging, uncertain hells, born in a door, a pillar, a fireplace, a rope, and the like, always made use of and exploited in these ephemeral hells. When the cause of being born in any of these 18 hells, intense hatred and aggression arises. O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind towards the practice, care for me. Omniscient Masters Longchenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto the wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who are one with them, care for me. So these are heavy metaphors. Let us not get lost in them. And let us use Hatha Yoga meditation to process them. Simply put, in this life, in this body, we live in the hells of our own creation. The problem is not the presence of rage. The problem is whether we process it or not. Anything that comes up we can process with this simple technique. Likewise in a grim and destitute realm where the words food, drink, and comfort have never been heard, the pretas find nothing to eat or drink for months and years on end. Their bodies are emaciated and they lack even the strength to stand. They suffer from 3 different kinds of obscurations, and the reason for being born as one is greed. In constant dread of being killed and eaten by one. Okay, so we'll stop there. Okay, let's continue. In constant dread of being killed and eaten by one another, exploited and worked till exhaustion, bewildered as to what to do or not to do, Animals were oppressed by limitless suffering, the seed of which is stubborn stupidity when I wander into its darkness. O Guru Rinpoche, turn my mind towards the practice care for me. Omniscient masters Longchenpa and Jigme Lingpa, keep me from straying onto the wrong paths. Compassionate Lama, you who are one with them, care for me. So, whatever befuddlement comes up, whatever greed comes up, we notice it. We might call it will, we might call it feel. We notice it, we relax, and thus we process it. Though I have entered the path of the Dharma, I have not put a stop to my erring ways. Though I have entered the door of the Mahayana, I am devoid of any beneficial thought of others. Though I have received the four empowerments, I do not practice the development and completion stage phases of meditation. O Lama, free me from straying from this path. Though I have not realized the view, I act as if a master of crazy wisdom. Though I am distracted in my meditation, I let myself get stuck in mental gossip and concepts. Though it is my own actions that are at fault, it's someone else I blame. O Lama, free me from being so arrogant and opinionated, so stubborn and insensitive. Though I may die tomorrow, I am full of craving for home, clothes, and possessions. Though I am quite old, I am not mature enough to have the slightest renunciation for samsara. Though I have truly heard only a little Dharma teaching, I pride myself on all my knowledge. O Lama, free myself from such ignorance. Though I may be rushing into danger, I go Dharma socializing in crowds and public places, thinking I'm on a pilgrimage. Though going on solitary retreats, my basic character remains as tough as a block of wood. Though appearing calm and speaking softly, I have not got rid of the attachment and aversion boiling inside. O Lama, free me from these outwardly concerns. Quickly rouse me from this deep sleep of ignorance. Quickly set me free from this dismal self-imprisonment. If you have trouble reading this, please let me know in the chat window. I'll do my best to modify it. In the three jewels and the essence, the sukhatas and the three roots, Lama, Yedam, and Kantro. In the channels, inherent bindus and their nature, the bodhicitta. In the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until fully enlightenment is realized. In the three jewels and the essence, the sukhata, in the three roots, Lama, Yedam, and Kantro. In the channels, inner and bundus and their nature, the bodhicitta. In the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until enlightenment is fully realized. In the three jewels, in the essence, the Sukatas, in the three roots, Lama, Yadam, and Kondro. In the channels, inner and bindus, in the nature, the bodhicitta. In the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until enlightenment is fully realized. Whole memorized by the sheer variety of perceptions which are like the illusory reflections of the moon and water. Beings wander endlessly astray in samsara's vicious cycle, in order that they might find comfort and ease in the luminosity and all-pervading space of the true nature of their minds. I generate the immeasurable love, compassion, joy, and equanimity of the awakened mind, the heart of bodhicitta, who mesmerized by their sheer variety of perceptions which are like the illusory reflections of the moon and water. Beings wander endlessly astray in samsara's vicious cycle, in order that they might find comfort and ease in the luminosity and all-pervading space of the true nature of all of their minds. I generate the immeasurable love, compassion, joy, and equanimity of the awakened mind, the heart of bodhicitta, who mesmerized by the sheer variety of perceptions which are like the illusory reflections of the moon and water. Beings wander endlessly astray in samsara's vicious cycle, in order that they might find comfort and ease in the luminosity and all-pervading space of the true nature of their minds. I generate the immeasurable love, compassion, joy, and equanimity of the awakened mind, the heart of bodhicitta. Oops. Let's try that again. Boom and boom. I am in my ordinary form above my head on a white lotus in the center of a moon disk seed is a whom which becomes Lama Vajrasattva. Brilliant white with complete Sambhoga Gaya adornments holding Vajra and bell and embracing the consort Vajra Garva. I take refuge in and pray purify all the negative actions. With deepest regret I acknowledge them all and ask your forgiveness. From now on, even if my life is at stake, I shall refrain from indulging in them again. In your heart upon a full moon is the letter whom encircled by the mantra. Recite in the mantra invokes your wisdom mind, and from the point of union of the blissful play of Yam. A cloud of bodhicitta nectar flows down like a shining stream of milk. Through this for me and all sentient beings of the three worlds may all negative karma and destructive emotions, the causes of suffering, illness, harmful influences, negative actions and obscurations, along with wrongdoing, downfalls and blockages due to breakages of samaya, be purified till not a single one remains. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger. Hopefully it'll make it easier to read. Let's see how this plays out. Vajra Sattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajra Sattva Dveno Patishta Dridho me bhava sutosho me bhava suposho me vavra anurakto me bhava sarva siddhe me prayancha sarva karma shucha me chitam shriyam kuruhum ahaho bhagavan Sarva tata kata vajre munsa vajre bhava maha samaya sattva. Om vajra sattva samaya anupalaya vajra sattva. So, since this is so long, we're going to take a meditation break. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Anupalaya Vajra Sattva Dveno Patishta Dridho me bhava sutosho me bhava suposho me bhava anurakto me bhava Sarva siddhiyam prachaya sarva karma sucha me chitam shriyam kuruham ha 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 ho bhagavan Sarva tata kata vajra mame munja vajra bhava vajri bhava maha samaya sattva. Om Vajra Sattva Sammaya Anupalaya Vajra Sattva Veno Padishta Drido Me Bhava Sudakshayo Me Bhava Anura Drido Me Bhava Sudosho Me Bhava Subosho Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddham Me Prayacha Sarva Karma Sucha Me Chitam Shriyam Kuru Ha 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 ho ho bhagavan sarva tata gata vajramam me munja vajre bhava maha samaya sarva. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manu Bhalaya Vajra Sattva Dveno Patishta Drido Me Bhava Sutosho Me Bhava Suposho Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhayam Me Prayacha Sarva Karma Sucha Me Chitam Shriyam Kuru Ha 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 ho ho bhagavan sarva tata gata vajramam me munja vajre bhava maha sama sattva. O protector, in my ignorance and delusion, I have gone against and corrupted my samaya. Lama, protector, be my refuge, chief of all the mandalas, Vajra holder. Embodiment of great compassion, chief of all living beings, in you I take refuge. I confess all my impairments of the root and breach samayas of the body, speech, and mind. I implore you, let my negative actions, obscurations, wrongdoing, and downfalls, all my flaws be completely cleansed and purified. At these words of mine, Vajrasattva is pleased and smiling, says, son or daughter of an enlightened family, your negative actions, obscurations, wrongdoing, and downfalls are all purified. Granting his forgiveness, he melts in delight and dissolves into me. Through this I too become Vajrasattva, appearing yet empty like a reflection in a mirror. At my heart is a hum around which the four brilliantly radiant syllables on Vajrasattva emanate rays of light. So we're going to work with Om Vajra Sattva Om. So For our first breath, let us explore how all that can be seen, that how are all circumstances are appearing yet void. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Sorry, my mistake. Let's try that again. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. All right. How forms felt yet void like Yedam. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. How speech heard yet void like mantra. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. How minds clear yet void like seed hum. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Whereby the three worlds, the whole universe of the environment and beings within it, attain enlightenment altogether as the Buddha fills and Buddhas of the five families of Vajrasattva. So we continue now. Instead of working with awareness and letting go, we're going to work with love and letting go. So instead of working with rhetorical questions, we're working with wishes. Vati boon for all lots. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Pardon me. Yidam health for all forms. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Mantra love for all speech. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Seed whom wise for all minds. Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva, Om. Through the positivity and merit of this, may I swiftly attain the realization of Vajrasattva, and thereby every single being reach the state of perfection too. Let's see. Om. So let us imagine that we are offering universes. 1 billion universes, 100 times 10 million worlds, filled with all the wealth of gods and human beings like the 7 precious gems. My bodies, my possessions, and my sources of merit altogether, I offer them in their entirety, so that I may be born as a Nirmanakaya and turn the wheel of Dharma, liberating all beings. The highest heaven of great bliss, the realm of Ganavyuha, perfect with the 5 certainties, the mandala of the 5 Buddha families, and inconceivably vast clouds of offerings of every variety of sensual and emotional stimulants. With this offering may I enjoy the perfection of the Sambhogakaya fields, where all appearance and existence are completely pure from the very beginning, the youth of Oz body, ornamented by the play of Dharmata, unceasing compassion, the realm where all clinging to the perception of kayas and tikles is naturally liberated. With this wisdom offering may I enjoy the freedom of the Dharmakaya reality. So we begin with 1 syllable. This first line here. We are rehearsing the death, which is an inevitability. So we are rehearsing ejecting our subtle mind as a drop out through the top of our crown as we forcefully recite the syllable pay. The T is silent. Pay by abandoning all attachment to this body, held so dear the demonic forces of seduction through desire or destroyed. My consciousness shoots out through the aperture of Brahma into all-pervading space, uniting awareness with space. Destroying the demonic force of death that transforms into trauma. In her right hand, the hook knife that symbolizes destruction of the demonic force of conflicting emotions. Slicing the top of off my corpse's skull, she destroys the demonic force of the aggregates of ego. Her left hand holds the skull cup to carry out her activity. Places it on the fireplace of three human heads representing the three kayas. Inside is the corpse now as an offering as vast as 1 billion worlds, melted into nectar by an Astrakhan home. Purified, multiplied, and transformed through the power of Omahum. Om 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 Om. Pay the guests above the root and lineage. Lamas might be my offer. By my offering all pleased, whereby merit and wisdom more accumulated and ordinary and supreme siddhis attained. The guest below belonging to samsara, satisfied by my offering, karmic debts are repaid. In particular, by satisfying malicious and negative forces, all illness, destructive influences, and obstacles, all pacified, dissolving into all-pervading space. Awful circumstances and clinging to self are exploded. Finally, offerer, and guests all dissolve into the nature of Dzongchenpo, the great simplicity. So that was pretty much the Tim Burton meditation. Oh, how marvelous! My entire perception spontaneously perfect is a realm of infinite purity. The copper-colored mountain of glory, arrayed in complete and perfect detail. Here in its very center, my own body as Vajrayogini. With one face, 2 hands, brilliant red, and holding a hook knife and skull. My 2 feet gracefully poised, my 3 eyes gazing into the sky. Above my head on a blossoming 100,000-petal lotus, sun and moon disk seat, inseparable from my own root master, embodiment of all sources of refuge appears. Guru Rinpoche in the supreme Nirmanakaya form of the lake born Vajra. His body glows with hues white with a tinge of red. He wears a gown, monastic shawl, cloak, and robe. with one face, two hands, and seated in royal poise. In his right hand he holds the Vajra, and his left the skull cup containing the vase of immortality. On his head he wears a five-petal lotus head cradled. In his left arm he holds a supreme consort of bliss and emptiness. Concealed as the three-pointed Katvanga trident, he presides amidst the shimmering aura of rays and rings of rainbow light. All around him, enveloped in a beautiful lattice of white, blue, yellow, red, and green light, are King Trisongden, the 25 disciples, the Pandit Siddhas and Vidyadattas of India and Tibet Yidam deities, Dharmakayas and Dharmapalas and protectors who keep the Samaya all gather like billowing clouds. Visualize vivid and distinct in the great equality of clarity and emptiness. And now we rest the mind. Whom in the northwest of the land of Odayana, in the heart of a lotus flower, endowed with the most marvelous attainments, who are renowned as the lotus born, surrounded by many hosts of dakinis following in your footsteps. I pray to you, come inspire me with your blessings, Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Free as many times as there are atoms in the universe, I multiply my body and offer you prostrations. With both real offerings and those created in the mind through the power of samadhi, I offer the entire universe as one vast gesture of offering. All the harmful actions of my body, speech, and mind I confess and purify in the luminosity of Dharmakaya. Whether they are relative or absolute, I rejoice in all positive virtuous actions. According to the receptivity and needs of different beings, I implore you to turn the wheel of Dharma of the three yanas, till samsara is completely empty and all beings liberated. Do not pass into nirvana, but remain here among us, I pray. All the merit and positive actions of past, present, and future I dedicate, so that all beings may attain supreme enlightenment. O Guru Rinpoche, precious one, you are the embodiment of the compassion and blessings of all the Buddhas, the only protector of beings, my body, my possessions, my heart and soul. Without hesitation I surrender to you. From now until I attain enlightenment and happiness or sorrow in circumstances, good or bad, in situations high or low, I rely on you completely, O Pema Jangne, you know me, O Mahung Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. I have no one else to turn to in these evil times. The beings of the Kali Yuga are sinking in the swamp of intense and unbearable suffering. Free us from all this, O great Guru. Grant us a foreign empowerment, so blessed one, direct your realization to our minds, O compassionate one. Purify our emotional and cognitive obscurations, O powerful one. O Mahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. When my life is at an end with my entire perception, the heaven of Gaia bling, the glorious copper-colored mountain, the Nirmanakaya pure land of indivisible appearance and emptiness. My body, Vajra Yogini, is transformed into a radiant, shimmering sphere of light, and merging inseparable with Padmasambhava, I shall attain Buddhahood. Then from the play of vast primordial wisdom, which is the miraculous manifestation of bliss and emptiness, for every single being in the three realms, let me appear as a true guide to lead them to liberation. Jetsun Palma, grant this, I pray to you from the bottom of my heart. It's not just words or empty mouthings, grant your blessings from the depths of your wisdom mind, and cause all my good aspirations to be fulfilled, I pray, O Mahum Vajra Guru Manmazini Hum. Imahu in the heavenly realm, free from all dimensions and extremes, is the primordial Buddha, the Dharmakaya Sambandambandra. His wisdom lay like the reflection of the moon in water, the Sambhogakaya Vajrasattva. Perfect with all Buddha qualities, Nirmanakaya Garabdaje. To you I pray, grant me your blessings and empowerment. Shri Simha, treasure of the ultimate Dharma mantra, Shri Mita, universal ruler of the Nanyanas. Jana Sudra, great Pandita, Vimala Mitra, to you I pray, show me the way to make my mind free. Madmasambhava, sole ornament of this world of yours, your supreme heart disciples, Trisong Zetsen, Vairocana, and Yeshitso called. Longchenpa, who revealed a vast ocean of wisdom, mind treasures, Jigme Lingpa, entrusted with the space treasury of the Dakinis. To you I pray, grant me fruition and liberation, master of the Dharma Changchub Dorje. The Sita Jigme Yahweh, you supreme among emanations, Mingyur Namkai Dorje. Son of the Buddha Shinpentaye, to you I pray, show me my true nature, my original face. Glorious Haruka, do Kensei Yeshe Doje Poturam Peche Origin Jigme Choki Wangpo. Lord of Siddhas Padma Vajra Padma Sambhava himself great Kensei Wangpo. To you I pray grant me cities ordinary and supreme. Not so Krangdo who self-liberated all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana. Omniscient Jigme Tingpe Nyingma embodiment of all sources of refuge Choki Lodro. To you I pray bless my mind, inspire my understanding. Through true renunciation and disgust for samsara, may I rely upon the Vajra Lama, meaningful as though he were my very eyes. Following his instructions to the letter and taking to heart the profound practices he gives. Not just now and then, but with diligent and constant application. May I become May I become worthy of the transmission of his profound wisdom mind. Since all that appears and exists, samsara and nirvana from the very beginning, is the Akanishta Puram of the Buddhas, where all appearance is liberated into perfect Buddha forms, all sounds are purified into mantra, all thoughts are matured into dharmakaya. And since Dzongcha Chenpo is free of any effort of abandoning and adopting, and since Rigpa's self-radiance is beyond thoughts and experience, may I see the naked reality of Dharmata. May all ordinary clinging to reality be totally liberated into rainbow light, and the experiences of Kayas and Tikles increase. May Rigpa's strength be enhanced, maturing into the fullness of Sambhoga Kaya perfection. As all perception of phenomenal reality wears out and the conceptual mind dies into the state of total enlightenment, may I gain the stronghold of the useful Vaz body, free from birth and death. But if I am not able to master the practice of the great Hatha Yoga in this life, and this gross physical body is not liberated into the pure space of the rainbow body, then when the constituents that form this life fall apart at the moment of death, may the grand luminosity arise as the Dharmakaya appear from the beginning. May appearances of the Bardo experience be liberated into Sambhogakaya forms. And perfecting the path of Treksha and Tagal, may I be liberated as naturally as a child running into its mother's lap. Oh, I forgot to push the button. Sorry, kids. In this great secret mantrayana, path of Lumanasa, Pijongpa Chenpo, the summit of all. Enlightenment is to be sought nowhere but in the face of the Dharmakaya. If I am not liberated into the primordial state by actualizing this, then by taking the sublime path of the 5 practices of enlightenment without meditation, may I be reborn in one of the naturally emanated realms of the 5 Buddha families, and especially in the palace of loaded less the Zongdo Dokpaldri heaven of Guru Rinpoche, in the presence of the Lord of Organ himself, chief of the ocean of Vidyadhara masters, while he is celebrating the feast of the great secret mantra Dharma. May I be born as his favorite son or daughter to take upon myself the task of helping limitless beings. Through the inspiration and blessing of the ocean of victorious Vidyadharas, by the truth of the Dharma Dhatu beyond conception, and with this free will and will favor, and with this free and will favored human form, may I train in the 3 activities of perfecting, ripening, and purifying, and by actualizing this auspicious interconnection attain the state of Buddhahood. From the syllable Om in the Guru's forehead, radiant and shimmering like moonlight, rays of light stream out and enter my forehead. Negative actions of the body and obscurations of the channels are purified. The blessings of the Vajra body of the Buddha infuses me. The false empowerment is obtained. I become a receptive vessel for the generation phase of Kyerim. The seed of the completely matured Vidyadhara is sown. The potential for obtaining the level of Nirmanakaya is implanted within me. From the syllable oneness replacing like a ruby, rays of light streak out and penetrate my throat. Negative activity of the speech and obscurations of the inner are all purified. The blessings of the Vajra speech of the Buddhas enters me. The secret empowerment is obtained. I become a receptive vessel for the mantra recitation practice. The seed of the Vidyadhara with power over life is sown. The potential for obtaining the level of Sambhogakaya is implanted within me. It is hard from the suitable whom sky-colored rays of light pour out and plunge into my heart. Negative activity of the mind and obscurations of the tea-clay are purified. The blessings of the Vajramata of all the Buddhas is installed in me. The wisdom empowerment is attained. I become a receptive vessel for the Chandali practice of bliss and emptiness. The seed of Mahamudra Vidyadhara is sown. The potential for obtaining the level of Dharmakaya is implanted within me. Again from the whom it is hot as a considerable whom bursts out like a shooting star, and merges indistinguishably one with my own mind. The karma of the ground of all incognitive obscurations are purified. The blessing of the Vajra wisdom pervades me. The absolute empowerment symbolized by the word is obtained. I become a receptive vessel for the primordial purity of Dzongpa Chenpo. The seed of the spontaneously accomplished Vidyadhara is sown. The potential for the Svabhavika Kaya, the final fruition, is implanted within me. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmasini Hum. I visualize myself clearly as Vajra Yogini. From the heart center of the Lama, a beam of light, red and warm, suddenly bursts out and touches my heart. Instantly I am transformed into the sphere of red light the size of a pea, which shoots up towards Padmasambhava like a spark that spits from the fire. It dissolves into Guru Rinpoche's heart, merges and becomes one with him one taste. Glory. Glorious root Lama, precious one, dwell on the lotus seat in the depths of my heart. Look upon me with the grace of your great compassion, grant me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. Towards the lifestyle and activity of the Lama, may wrong view not arise even for an instant. And may I see whatever he does as a teaching for me. Through such devotion may his blessing inspire and fill my mind. In all my lives may I never be separated from the perfect Lama, and having benefited fully from the splendor of the Dharma, may I perfect the qualities of the 5 paths and 10 bhumis, and swiftly attain the sublime level of Vajradhara. Through this merit may all beings complete the accumulations of merit and wisdom, and so attain the Dharmakaya and Rupakaya that come from merit and wisdom. Through all the merit that beings have, whatever they have and will do and are doing now, may they attain the very same stages of perfection as Samantha did. Just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri knew to be the way, and Samantha too I shall follow in the footsteps of all the Bodhisattvas, and make a perfect dedication of these merits. As all the Buddhas past, present, and future praise the dedication of merit as supreme. May all the sources of merit I dedicate completely so that all may perfect Samantha's good actions. In all my lives, wherever I am born, may I attain the 7 qualities of birth in higher realms. As soon as I am born, may I meet the Dharma and have the freedom to practice it correctly. Then may I please the noble Lama and put the Dharma into action day and night. May I realize that Dharma actualize its innermost meaning and so cross the ocean of existence in this very life. May I teach the sacred Dharma to beings wandering in samsara and never to tire or weary of working to help others. Through my vast and impartial service to others, may all beings attain Buddhahood together as one. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 10¼ hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, let's try this again. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.